Hey, man, take care.
Thanks, man. All right, Andrew, any more calls?
Yeah, we have a couple more calls. First one is someone from the chat room, Canada Spaceman, is really eager to speak to you, so I'm going to put him through. Hey, Canada Spaceman, you're on.
Holy moly, am I on?
Yes, sir.
Holy moly. I can't believe I'm talking to Kid Kash. Awesome. I can't believe it.
What
up? Yeah, long time fan here, man.
Well, cool, man.
I'm going to, I know you're probably sick of talking about it, but I'm going to be talking, asking a little bit about the ECW days. You know, back then, when they brought the gimmick to you, did you guys ever, like, meet up with Kid Rock? And did he ever give, okay, so did he give you the kudos? He gave you the go-ahead?
I didn't need it because, well, honestly, I didn't need it because, honestly, at that time, he was barely getting started. You know what I'm saying? He was, you know, he'd been out there a while, but he hadn't even been known yet. So technically, you know, I pulled out the name before he got kind of famous, you know. I was already on TV and all that other stuff. But, yeah, we used to hang with Joe C a lot. And then through Joe C, I met him actually a few times, and he was always really nice to me. Never had a problem with me being Kid Kash, being in the same room, him being Kid Rock. I mean, we had cordial conversations, you know. I mean, he was always a cool dude to me, and I was a cool dude back. And, you know, he would have gotten out of line, I would have probably, like, knocked the shit out of him. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't really know anything about him then. We just basically used the name. I mean, it's Kid Kash. My name is literally David Kash, you know, so I can be Kid Kash if I want to be, you know. The only difference was I had long hair. And Paul wanted me to dress like that, and then his album came out. I had Ball with a Bye on it, and that's what Paul had chose to use for my ring entrance. So the only thing I had to get any kind of anything about him that I had to get him to agree to was using the music, because it could be a copyright, you know, problem and stuff like that, you know, 'cause I was using his, you know, because they would sit out, they were planning a DVD, you know, a DVD of the ring musics and stuff like that, and that would have been on it, and, you know, I'm sure somebody would have wanted a royalty or a merchandise or something on it. But that was the only thing. That was the only thing. Anytime I was around him, he was, hey, what's up? He called me Dave, and I called him Bob. You know, that was it. I mean, I didn't call him Kid Rock, and he didn't call me Kid Kash. Every now and then, they'd be like, what up, Kid Kash? And I'd be like, what up, KK? You know, KR. You know, that's what. But it wasn't like we hung out a lot, you know. It was only about maybe 4 or 5 times throughout the time I was in ECW. And Joe C, hung out with him a lot. He was the dwarf that ran with him for a while. He died and stuff like that, but he was really tight with Justin Credible, Rob Van Dam, and myself, and, you know, and a few other people. So it was sort of the 420 clique, man. You know, we were the only ones who smoked pot.
Well, hold on a second. Were you involved in adult films with Joe C?
No. I was only involved with getting high from time to time with some weed. But no, still, he would come to the show. He was a huge wrestling fan, so he would come to the shows if we were up near the Michigan area or the northern Ohio area, sometimes Chicago. And he would come hang out with us. Great guy.
The first time I seen you was on ECW Hardcore TV. It's like somebody just told me, it's like, you got to see this stuff. It's like incredible. And I couldn't get it except on rabbit ears off of like a Buffalo TV station. Like, I live in Canada, so it was pretty hard to get.
Oh, okay.
And one of the first shows I seen was you, and at the end of the show was you getting busted wide open, your mouth bloodied and everything, and the show ended with you just like you hanging off the ropes and just like getting dummied. I'm like, oh my God, what is this? And who is this guy? It's like, oh my God, this is incredible. You know, I'm just like, this guy's taking bumps major, and he got dummied, and it's just like he's still going, and he looks like he's just about to get up, but he's getting pushed down not go any further, and it's just like, it blew my mind, you know. It's like that was the first impression I got of him. Just like, I gotta know who this guy is.
Oh, cool. Again, ECW, it would get a little. It was more rough than WCW and WWE and those kind of companies. So we expected black eyes, cracked noses, and cheekbones. I broke a lot of bones in ECW while I was there. Broke a fibula in my leg, tore my ankle a couple times, broke my jaw, broke an orbital socket, broke my nose. Broke a few bones there in ECW, man. Knocked out a tooth.
In some wrestling magazines I bought back then, around 2001, 2002, they were saying Jazz was like your helper. It's like she looked after you. It's like, how far does that go? Like, can you expand on what they were talking about?
No, Jazz and I were just really cool friends and stuff like that. So they saw that. We didn't, it wasn't anything like romantic or anything. We were just great friends. We traveled a lot together, cutting the costs on vehicles and stuff. And, we were all just, you hung with your kind. You know what I'm saying? That's just, there was those little cliques. You had to, she was from Louisiana. I'm from Tennessee, so we, of course, smoked weed and so did she. So we just hung with who we were hanging with, and Jazz and I just got along great. So there was a few times that I did line-ins on her matches to save her from Simon Diamond. She helped out me and Nova a few times whenever Nova and I was doing a little bit of tag teaming. We went. I think we did a Living Dangerously pay-per-view maybe, or Dangerous something.
Yeah, Living Dangerously 2000.
Yeah, I had a broken jaw. Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite.
I think it was in Birmingham, Alabama. But she was in the match. We doing run-ins and stuff like that on each other led up to that night, the pay-per-view. Unfortunately, I had a broken jaw with my jaw wired shut. So I had just broken it like 2 nights before up in Atlanta.
Does that happen more than once? Wired, your jaw wired shut?
Yeah, that's the first time I ever had a wired shut. Yeah, but it was a pretty decent break. It broke on 2 sides of my face, so they had to wire it shut.
I don't know if you've heard this, but it's like for about 8 years, I've been whenever I've spoken my mind on radio shows and internet, I said the most ultimate match if I ever want to see is you versus Billy Kidman. It's like, I thought he was the best of the best of the guys jumping off the top ropes, and I thought you were about the same from the indies, ECW was an indie pretty much back then. And it's like, did you guys ever have a match, or did you ever want to have a match with him?
I've known Billy for years and years, and we get along great. He's a sweet guy. I've never wrestled him, and we've talked about it. We even wondered why, that it's a wonder, as long as both of us had been in the business, that we never ran across each other and actually ever had to wrestle each other. And if you think about it, ECW wasn't really an independent there. We were actually beating WCW at one point in the ratings, and we were selling out more in the house, houses on the house shows. So technically, it wasn't an indie show. We were definitely the third company. I don't think anybody can deny that. But he was doing his thing in WCW, and I was doing my thing in ECW. And I don't think at the time WWE had anybody at that time. I think they had Taka Michinoku. And that's so we were like the high-flying guys of our companies, which would have been a really cool thing, if we'd ever would have faced off back then, when we were, both kind of like the fly boys of our companies. I think it would have been a big deal.
Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to insult you or nothing,
No, you're all right. But listen, that company, even to this day, you can't say that anybody cannot say that ECW was an independent show. Even to this day, I mean, WCW tried it, WWE tried it, and even TNA has tried it on an occasion and is going to try it again to bring back the ECW. So evidently it must have been something bigger than just an independent show. That, I mean, Ring of Honor's been out there for a long time, but did they ever get the recognition, or, you know what I'm saying, that the ECW got?
Well,
and still get.
ROH comes close to getting that flavor back, but TNA's closer. But it's like if you and all the other guys
Ring
that
of
made
Honor
a name,
will, honestly, unless Ring of Honor gets a lot of money back in it, it'll never be anything better than just a top-notch independent show. I've seen the shows, I've seen the tapes. It only fits a cult set of, you know, kind of like CW did. We had a cult following, but then it went from a cult following to a nationwide and worldwide following. Okay, Ring of Honor is still on that cult following thing, you know. And TNA at that time when it opened up, it had a cult following. That's back when we were just doing pay-per-views once a week, every Wednesday. It got that following, it got that cult following, and then people started talking and talking. You must be a fan of Ring of Honor, and which is understandable, but you also got to remember there's about 1 billion more people in this world that don't look at Ring of Honor and doesn't look at, you know, a lot of those type of places as, you know, legit companies, really.
Yeah, but the thing is,
it's
like
your opinion, and you're a mark for the Ring of Honor, and a mark for some of this other shit. Doesn't mean the rest of the world is with you on it, you know.
I know, but it's like I've loved WWF, you know, for so many years, and it's just like I got sick of it. And now I look at other stuff, and I'm like, wow, this is what I remember what wrestling is supposed to be.
Well, I've watched it too, and honestly, I would, even though I don't really watch wrestling that much anymore, I haven't for years, I would much rather watch WWE before I would watch Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor has absolutely no psychology whatsoever, has not an ounce of story to it at all. Only thing it is move for move for move for move. That is not impressive. What's impressive to me is to go out and do 2 or 3 high-flying moves and make them actually mean something. Okay, and don't finish with a move that is less intense as the moves that you were doing and kicking out of.
Okay, yes, I've heard that before, that Ring of Honor is called Spot Fest.
That is all it is. I mean, I respect people who get up in the ring. It takes balls to do what we do. Okay, it does.
Well, you've been known to be...
There are a lot of people who can just do a move but actually have no talent. Do you understand that?
Yes, but you've been known to do that too. You've been compared to Jeff Hardy. It's like you're like one of the best.
I am one of the best. I've been one of the best. And honestly, think about it. If you watch the ECW from today, there's nobody that can do a couple of those moves, and they haven't even attempted to do a few of those moves that I did back in the day. Okay? And you probably won't ever see it. But you didn't see me go out there and do 50 freaking moves and kick out of 100 of them. You see what I'm saying? I did 3 moves tops, and the rest of it I wrestled. See, I gave the crowd a little bit of everything, man. I gave them a little bit of story. I gave them a real fucking character, and then I also sold my ass out for them. I did arm drags. I did hip tosses, you know, other than just doing fucking power bombs off the top ropes into a hurricanrana, out of the ring, over the top ropes, duck this clothesline, duck that clothesline, drop down. You know, I didn't do that, man. I put a pace to the match. I made sense to the match, and I gave something for the crowd to fucking cheer for, you know, as far as high flying on top of it. I gave them a full damn match, dude.